One of the things that AI agents can't really do really well right now is to replicate a normal software developer's working memory of a code base. What that means is if you're a senior level developer and somebody comes with you with a new task or a question, you're able to answer that really, really fast because you have active working memory of your code base. You're on top of your stuff. Now, with LLMs, you have different kind of approaches to this. For one, Codex is apparently really good at going through your entire code base and coming up with a really good answer. So what they're doing there is they're replicating the working memory by going through every single file. The downfall or the problem with this is it takes a really long time. So Codex, it's taking 5, 10, 15, maybe even more minutes depending on the size of your code base and what you're asking for. And so there's a really big kind of time consumption issue there. Also, context usage. So the other thing is Claude Code, and Claude Code uses documentation and also goes through your code, but it relies a little bit more on documentation, as far as I can tell. The problem with that there is if your documentation's inaccurate or it's not up to date or something's changed and it just doesn't reflect well in the documentation, like there's not enough detail or something, Claude Code's going to interpret that not well. And what you end up having there is basically a developer that is in the code day in and day out, but they don't know the code base that well. And what you're going to end up having all sorts of like weird issues where things are slightly off. Decent solution, but maybe another couple months and we'll see something a little bit better. And then there's Cursor. Cursor does, depending on which LLM you're using, it will do different things. In my opinion, Cursor is more like specific towards like targeted issues. And so if you're looking at, hey, fix this particular function on this particular file, it'll actually kind of go through backwards and say, oh, okay, what is this referencing? What is that referencing? And it'll have that kind of system prompt to go through the necessary files. And the good thing with that is it's efficient. It's, not going to use a lot of context and tokens, and, timing wise, it's going to be a little bit faster. The problem with that is it might miss stuff. And unless you're telling it specifically to reference documentation or other files, if you miss something, then it might come up with like, oh, I built this entire new function just to do this, particular prompt that you asked. However, you've got like this entire library where it already exists. So these are some of the issues that I've been running into. Let me know what you think.